Colorado State and Maryland, oh, it was a goodie. Maryland coming off their largest win in tournament program history, looking to advance to the round of 16 for the first time since 2016. Colorado State, meantime, on a heater. Winner of 11 straight, efforting their first ever Sweet 16. First half, Nick Clifford gets inside, off glass, Rams by 6. Time winding down in that first half. Clifford shimmy shakes inside, gets it to fall, leading the way with 12 at the break. Rams up 7 going into the half. Maryland, their second largest halftime deficit of the season. Meantime, Colorado State 22-1 when leading at half this year. We tell you that because of this. Here comes the turtle. Early second half. Kick out finds Jacoby Gillespie. Patience there on the shot. Matt Norlander, and Maryland starting to show signs of life.
Show signs of life, and it was right around here during this game where it started to get that feeling. Maryland hitting some big, I mean, what a shot with the contact. They were trading jabs, trading haymakers, and we were on pace to a historic night out in Seattle.
Maryland up 2 after the made free throw there, their first lead of the game since the first 2 minutes, and then things got up for the get down. Coast-to-coast slam by Selton Miguel. Terps up 3, Turtle not slowing down, just under 9 to play. Bowen Bourne hanging inside, off glass. Rams up by 3. Back and forth they go. Colorado State's bench outscoring Maryland's 18-2 in this one. Just under 4 minutes left. Queen showing off at the defensive end here too, Tim Doyle, playing two-way hockey as it's going the other way. Rodney Rice pass under the basket. Just the effort starting to come to the forefront here for Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland starters really carried their weight. They only had 2 bench points this entire game, Musso.
Second block of the game, a big one there for DQ. 2.5 minutes. Gillespie dishes to Julian Reese. Shot falls there. Turtle by 4. Caps a 9-0 run. 2-point lead now, just under a minute. Jalen Lake. Got to go to your guys when the game's on the line. Lake finding his stroke. Game tied at 68 there as he finds space, knocks it down. Maryland would take the lead back on free throws. So Colorado State, 11 ticks, down 2. The family can't bear to watch it, but one beautifully drawn up here. Clifford, cross court to Lake. Lake, water! Rams by 1 inside, 7 ticks. 14th lead change in this game. Would it be the last? Rams just 1 of 11 from 3 in the second half. Prior to that, make Maryland now left to hold their breath. Only one thing to do, go to that fella. Queen for the win! Maryland wins at 72-71. A royal winner from Queen. The 15th lead change of the game, Matt Norlander.
A instant classic March Madness moment. However, have to include, I spoke with veteran officiating sources. They did tell me that is, without wiggle room for interpretation, it was nonetheless a travel. Doesn't matter. Maryland's going to San Francisco and to the Sweet 16.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's just one that's going to make this one even tougher on Colorado State. There was the gather and then the steps. But let's focus on some madness here because Maryland delivers it with a game on the line. They get the ball to their guy, Derik Queen. 17 points in this game, 6 rebounds, a game winner, and finally some madness here in March.
Oh, Kevin, I covered a couple of those buzzer beaters. Northwestern, Michigan State. What did you just tell me? Maybe without, one of the words.
I think we were finally due for us to have one. I think our last 4 losses have all been buzzer beaters. When Lake shot that shot, I was like, man, that's going in. And I'm like, but we were due to get one. So proud of my team, Colorado State.
You called timeout. You got the best player on the floor, the freshman, who you've said from day one is one of the best players in the country. What did you call?
You know what? I asked everybody. I said, who wants the ball? And he said, give me the MF ball. And I said, all right, you're getting it. And I said, don't mess around. Go after it and do it. And I give him a lot of credit, man. The big dog came up and threw.
All right, let's bring in that big dog from Maryland. A well-deserved hug. Derik, you made a decision to stay home, and you just delivered your state school to the Sweet 16. How often did you script what we just witnessed?
I mean, I couldn't do it without my team. Like, we was down, and then Jude, Jordan, Selton, all the seniors, so we didn't want them to want this to be that last game, so we just kept fighting, and coaches and my teammates trusted me to take that last shot.
There was a timeout. You said, I'm not going to say the full thing, but you said, get me the ball when he came out of the timeout. Where does that confidence come from?
I mean, so I think I'm from Baltimore, that's why. And then I kind of had it going all game. Me and my teammates had it going, and like I said, like they trusted me to take that last shot.
Congratulations, you're off to San Francisco in the Sweet 16.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So it's 16 for the first time since 16 for the Maryland Terrapins, who come away with the winner. You heard from Kevin Willard, 27-8 this season. Those 27 wins, the most in a single season in his career, and now 1 win shy of tying his father, Ralph Willard, in career wins with 335. But what a win this was. Took every last second. Queen offering a buzzer beater, and the Maryland Terrapins moving on to the Sweet 16.
Maryland needs 1 bucket to keep its season alive. Gillespie from the out of bounds to the freshman Queen, who's driving, floats it. Oh! Maryland on the right side of a buzzer beater with life into the Sweet 16.
There's beauty in the madness, and a beautiful moment there for Maryland and that fan base. Queen with the 2 biggest points we've seen this tourney thus far, 17 in total, 72-71, an absolute thriller as the Terps take down the Rams. Let's take to the podium.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, extremely proud of this group of guys for battling through. Colorado State is really good. Nico does an unbelievable job, and I thought it was a great game. You know, Julian Reese, who gets 1,000 rebounds in this game, comes up probably with the biggest rebound of his career, and then makes his free throws. So give Colorado State a lot of credit. They're an excellent basketball team. I feel bad that they had to go that way, but I really felt like maybe we were due eventually for one of those to go for us.
All right, question starting for the players.
Derik, only 3 seconds to go there. What was going through your mind once you got that ball in your hands?
That I got to get fouled or go out there and make the shot.
Hey, DQ, Gene Wong, Washington Post. What are you doing to kind of block out the noise and just focus on what you had to do once the ball was in your hand? And how do you keep your composure in a moment like that as only a freshman?
So that was my first game winner. And when Coach drew up the play, my teammates trusted me, and he trusted me. I was a little bit nervous, but I knew like we was due for one, and I had to make this.
And Drew, for you, just what's going through your mind when you see DQ hit that shot and it goes through, and you know you go to the Sweet 16?
Yeah, you know, we have all confidence in him. We knew where the ball was going to. We had to get the ball in his hands. He had the mismatch, so I feel like he just took advantage and do the things that he usually do. And it's just, I was there for the rebound if it would have came off, and it's just, y'all saw what happened.
Cameron Buford, Voice of the Fans. Hey, Coach, right here.
Please, players.
Yeah, I
players
think
still
you're
right
doing
now.
players
Okay.
first, sorry.
I'm sorry, Julian, standing there at the free throw line, knocking down the 2 free throws to give your team the lead. Talk about the thought process going to that and the confidence that you must have had to get that done.
Yeah, when I was at the line, like I was really just excited because like this is really what I work for in the off season. Like that's literally all I was thinking. Like the off season work is the same shot, and I was just literally like before we went in the huddle, like when they were reviewing it, we was just like, let's worry about defense right now. No, I got these shots. Let's just worry about defense. So I really wasn't thinking too much about the shot, like making it. I was really thinking about defense, and I was really just like extremely confident going into the line.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. Ju, when you grabbed that big offensive board, I was thinking that somewhere your sister was probably freaking out. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at your phone yet, but I wondered if you had and if she said anything. And also just, why do you think the 2 basketball players in your family are such good rebounders?
No, you know, I haven't like looked at my messages yet, so I know she's probably going crazy on my phone still right now. But as far as like the rebounding that running in the family, I think it's just like a hard thing. You know, we just play the game with so much intensity and just wear our feelings in our sleeve and just try to play our hardest. And I just really didn't want that to be our last game, so I just really wanted to play real hard.
Kyle Goon, Baltimore Banner. Derik, I know you were saying you were kind of due. This is your first game winner ever, or?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have given it to him if I had known that.
Astute decision. Did you come to Maryland to make moments like this, especially in March?
Yes, of course. I mean, first I just want to put on for Baltimore. I mean, a lot of people don't really make it out of Baltimore, and then I just wanted to come here and make a change, and then hopefully I did make a change so Coach Willard can keep getting a lot of local kids, and yeah.
Rod, for you, what was the kind of, and for the team, but what was, if any, adjustments at halftime? It looked like you came out more aggressive, particularly in the second half, shooting the 3-ball.
Yeah, I mean, even though I miss shots, like I'm still gonna shoot the ball. I'm still gonna be myself. I'm gonna be aggressive, no matter what. And I'm sure everybody know that they giggling next to me, but yeah, I'm gonna stay in attack mode all game.
And were there any adjustments defensively that maybe helped you kind of win this game?
Yeah, as a team, I think we were in our own heads on the offensive end in the first half. And then at halftime, coach was telling us that defense dictates offense. We got to get deflections and just play defense, lock up.
Just a couple more for the players.
Adeshina Koiki, a lot of sports talk. For any of the players, first of all, congratulations. Coach Willard said, tongue-in-cheek, on Friday that no one listens to him in his household, his wife, his kids, but tongue-in-cheek. What makes Coach Willard? Or otherwise? What makes Coach Willard someone who basketball players listen to, and what has he meant to you guys in the short time he's been with you?
First, he did pay us the money, and then so we got to listen to him, and we all trust him because he's like a player coach, and then he want nothing but the best for us, and he just he coaches hard. He talked to us other than basketball. He's just always there and just want us to win.
Yeah, just I feel like as a player, you got to put that trust into your coach. It's part of being a team, and as a leader, I got to listen to him, and we got to take something from each other, and just that's what we got to do for us to win. And I feel like every good team has that listens to their team leader, and everybody works together just to do that. Yeah, and both on and off the court, we love Coach Willard, man. So I mean, that trust is there, like the guys were saying, and yeah, that goes into everything else.
Lindsay Schnell, the athletic, for Jew and Rodney. A lot of times when Derik's out on the floor, he just looks like a little kid. He's always smiling. He's playing with his mouth guard all the time. What is it like to play with someone who has like a lot of joy about the game?
I think we need that. I think while we're playing, we get, especially me, I'm speaking for myself, but I get so locked into the game, I need to relax a little bit, Having him in the locker room, I'm not so tense. So, yeah, I appreciate that from him.
Okay, guys, I think we're going to let the players.
All right, so measured after the madness are the Maryland Terrapins here. As Derik Queen offers a game winner at the buzzer. Tough off foot, high off glass. The Twitter spaces going crazy right now about a potential travel, but now a thing of the past is Queen cements his name in history and sends Maryland to the round of 16. In studio, Joe Musso, Matt Norlander, Tim Doyle. Fellas, we kind of sat here and watched that and said, this is what this tournament needed. We were due for one of these, Matt Norlander, and I watched you cheer like a kid on Christmas. What are you feeling right now?
It feels so great to have this. We haven't had a true buzzer beater in the tournament since Lamont Butler beat FAU at the Horn in the Final Four in 2023. And here, you see Queen, he's been awesome all season long. I mean, just the look of that fadeaway, smooch off the glass, that is an all-timer for that program. It immediately goes into the March Madness perpetual highlight reel. And the shots just, I mean, the difficulty, the off foot over the outstretched arm of Ethan Morton, the former Purdue Boilermaker, and the Jalen Lake deep three. Skip pass from Neat Clifford the play before, which was an incredible shot. Let's not overlook it. Let's not forget it. the tournament did need something like this. We've had a couple of really good games, and yes, this is the better seeded team, the favorite moving on, but this is, if you really watched it over the course of the entire evening, this is the best game of the tournament so far.
Dripping in drama, Tim Doyle, I will tip my cap to you because you called those last two possessions a beautiful play design on one end, but then at the other, you said as simple as this. You got to get your guy the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he is such a unique talent, Derik Queen. I hosted a game last year at Mount Verde when they played Lou High. Cooper Flagg played VJ Edgecombe. And I left that game saying, yeah, Cooper Flagg's going to be a Hall of Famer. But if I was giving someone a bag, I would give Derik Queen the bag because he, for sure, was a surefire lock to be a big-time college player. I thought he could dominate the way Zach Randolph does. He's evolved more from a Zach Randolph, a true post player, to more like an Antoine Walker. And Antoine Walker was a stretch four before that was even popular. That is a very difficult shot. But his skill set is so high. I love that Kevin Willard was like, all right, we have one of the great players in the country as a freshman. Let's just give him the ball and let him go make a play. His high school team, Cooper Flagg, Liam McNeely, Derik Queen, Asa Newell, good luck.
Robert Wright on Baylor, the whole thing, loaded.
Best high school team ever. So pretty cool that all these guys got out there. And by the way, they all were freshmen of the year in their conferences. This is an awesome game. Before Jalen Lake had made that three, Colorado State was 1 of 11 in the second half from three-point range. I'm not going to get into rule changes right now in basketball, but games like this are awesome because it ends on a shot. I would love to see games end on a shot. Won't get into that right now, but it was awesome to see.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was the Elam ending platform that you always run on, Tim Doyle. We can save that for another day. We finally do get one of those moments here where it's a shot ending a ball game, and celebration is in order. Celebration rolling in. Andy Katz with Kevin Willard here post-game.
Oh, Kevin, I covered a couple of those buzzer beaters. Northwestern, Michigan State. What did you just tell me? Maybe without, one of the words.
I think we were finally due for us to have one. I think our last 4 losses have all been buzzer beaters. When Lake shot that shot, I was like, man, that's going in. And I'm like, but we were due to get one. So proud of my team, Colorado State.
You called timeout. You got the best player on the floor, the freshman, who you've said from day one is one of the best players in the country. What did you call?
You know what? I asked everybody. I said, who wants the ball? And he said, give me the MF ball. And I said, all right, you're getting it. And I said, don't mess around. Go after it and do it. And I give him a lot of credit, man. The big dog came up and threw.
All right, let's bring in that big dog from Maryland. A well-deserved hug. Derik, you made a decision to stay home, and you just delivered your state school to the Sweet 16. How often did you script what we just witnessed?
I mean, I couldn't do it without my team. Like, we was down, and then Jude, Jordan, Selton, all the seniors, so we didn't want them to want this to be that last game, so we just kept fighting, and coaches and my teammates trusted me to take that last shot.
There was a timeout. You said, I'm not going to say the full thing, but you said, get me the ball when he came out of the timeout. Where does that confidence come from?
I mean, so I think I'm from Baltimore, that's why. And then I kind of had it going all game. Me and my teammates had it going, and like I said, like they trusted me to take that last shot.
Congratulations, you're off to San Francisco in the Sweet 16.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Matt Norlander, I know plenty in that you want to dive into. What struck you most?
Well, it is the fact that Maryland, which has been a really, really good team all season, not a deep team, they got the Crab 5. It's not just because it's an awesome starting 5, it's because that 5 is really what Kevin Willard's group relies on. And this team had been knocked out in dramatic and heartbreaking fashion, most notably by Michigan State from beyond half court at the buzzer. But it's not just that. As I bring up all of the scores here and the recent results for Maryland. Lost in the Big Ten tournament, 81-80 at the Horn. 58-55 to Michigan State. That was at home back on February 26th. Ohio State 73-70 on a freak deep three by Bruce Thornton. The Northwestern one was, if you're a Maryland fan, totally gross.
Hey, I'm a Northwestern fan. I was happy to see that one.
And this entire season, Maryland has not lost a game by more than 6 points. This has been a very, very good team. I mean, it was Jalen, Lake, splash, and you were thinking, is it going to happen again? They were owed that. I will admit, we have to at least address this. It is debatable whether or not Queen, how you're counting the gather and the dribble, was it a travel? He covered a lot of ground there. But I abide by the rule of if it's tough to call and it looks awesome and cool, then let it stand. And there's few things cooler on this planet than hitting a game-winning shot in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, for Colorado State, what a run. They were on a winning streak coming into this game. They were a confident bunch. The execution down the stretch. Let's not forget, Julian Reese went to the free throw line in a tie game. Here's a guy the last 2 seasons shot in the 50s percentage-wise from the free throw line. He banged down 2 free throws. Lake, the only Colorado State player to play in 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments. He's the guy taking the shot, the unselfish play from Clifford. Just so many great plays, so many great, like, pure, old school basketball plays, guys making the play the right way. Then you have a superstar. We're going to look back on this shot, Joe, in 5 to 7 years when Derik Queen's an all-star in the NBA and be like, remember when he made that shot? Remember when they were like thinking about even giving it to Gillespie to take the shot? Like, what were they thinking? Kevin Willard knows this guy's talent level is crazy. It's his body that's going to end up being the X factor on what type of pro he is, because he's got a big frame and, you know, he likes to enjoy his steaks and hanging out, but his talent is through the roof. This was just a fantastic basketball game, and now Nico Medved, go get your money. Bye-bye to Colorado State. He's going to go get paid and become the next head coach of Minnesota.
26 wins for Colorado State this season, 1 shy of a program record. They had that winning streak rolling. They have their moment in their conference tournament. We can only hope with the changing landscape here in collegiate athletics, we continue to get moments like this where a smaller conference school and a big conference school can go head-to-head into the final seconds like they did. We got big on big, good on good now. Maryland, Florida. When you put those 2 teams on the same court, what comes to mind?
You've got 2 of the best starting 5s in the country. Had this in my bracket. I do have Maryland advancing, dating back to Selection Sunday, so keep that in mind. I am fascinated to see by what Florida does to counteract Queen, because of what Queen can do so much on the floor there. Alex Condon is a good defensive big. You've got Florida that's going to have Walter Clayton Jr., who's been top 3 top floor player in the country this season. Really fascinating matchup. You know, Florida got a really good push from UConn. I mean, the Huskies really gave them a real challenge and a real scare. Maryland's been even better than UConn this season. That's going to be a fantastic matchup, and that's going to go down out in San Francisco. Maryland, I believe, is going to do the smart thing here. It's a Sunday result. They're going to play in San Fran. There's no flying back east. It is staying on the left coast there, making sure that you don't have to do too much body clock adjustment, dipping down to the city by the bay. And the Sweet 16, it would have been fun to see Colorado State in the Sweet 16. I would have enjoyed that so much. I wanted to get a mid-major into the Sweet 16 if possible. But we are getting some high-level regional semifinals as this bracket is unfolding as we wrap up the weekend.
So you're saying they're going to miss class?
I think they're going to be missing some classes.
Okay,
maybe let's squeeze it a little bit.
Online these days.
Squeeze a little online stuff. Squeeze a little online stuff Monday, Tuesday.
Digital learning.
So no, I got everything's online. I understand. No problem with that. This was like one of those games when I was looking at my bracket, like Tennessee and Kentucky. When I came to the matchup, I was like, really? Like, I think Maryland could certainly win this game. They're going to need outstanding play from their point guards, from their guards. The transfers, they got older guys, Maryland. They can go toe-to-toe with Florida, no doubt about it. I picked Florida to win this game. I also was hoping Maryland didn't run into Florida, because Maryland was going to be one of my sexy Final Four picks if it was in the right region. If it was in an Auburn region or if it was in a Houston region, I was like, oh, I ran into my, I have Florida winning it all. So this is going to be an awesome game. Guard play. I think Maryland's guards, disagree with me if you want, I think they can go toe-to-toe with Florida's guards.
They've got a chance. Jacoby Gillespie is a big-time shooter. There's a real awesome matchup potential there with Walter Clayton. And Selton Miguel is underrated. I mean, he's just a really, really solid, steady option there. A little bit overlooked with what he does. But, yeah, this is a terrific 1 versus 4. And the 1 seeds are, as you would expect, and as we talk in real time here, by the way, we don't know what team Duke is going to face in the East Regional Semifinal. But the 1 seeds elsewhere on the board, they've got some real challenges. Houston's got to play Purdue in Indianapolis. You've got
that's not a challenge, by the way.
Okay. You've got Florida going up against Maryland. We know what it's capable of. And then you've got up in the top left of the bracket. Who am I blanking on here? Who's the other
Auburn.
one? Auburn. There you go. Well, Auburn's been a little bit up and down.
I'm here to pick you up, Matt.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's been a lot going on. I was in Providence through the past 3 days. All of the 1 seeds are standing to have some pretty fascinating matchups here. I'll say this right now. I will be surprised if all 4 1 seeds get to the Elite Eight. I think at least one of them is getting picked off.
It is always great when we get the odd couple on the same desk, just as we did a Sunday ago. Here we are on Sunday. We will take a timeout. We will collect our breaths. And we will enjoy once again what we just saw. A buzzer beater victory for Maryland, punching their ticket into the Sweet 16. Derik Queen joining this list of moments we won't forget.